One of the most important techniques to master, one of the skills you really need to have in your toolbox is distraction. If you're going to be working with energy psychology, be it Havening Techniques or trauma tapping or EFT or TFT, it doesn't really matter what your modality is. To know how to distract a person that is traumatized possibly is something that is extremely useful. So if you're going to be distracting, make sure that you know how to distract them in a way that works for them. You want them to go to their safe place. If you say, imagine walking on a beach and you have no idea if they have fear of sharks, had a drowning incident, or been through a tsunami, that's not a safe place. Imagine going down the stairs into a relaxed place. Maybe that's what their parents said when they were punished for something. Go down in the cellar and lock the door for a while. So find out what their safe place is and don't ever, ever, ever impose what you believe their safe place is because that could trigger them. Numbers are a great way because they could be neutral, but again, they might not be. Did you know that most people who go to school have a kind of math phobia because of the way their math teacher treated them and made them feel stupid? So asking somebody to count backwards in steps of 3 can actually trigger a very nasty effect. But there is a better way to do numbers. And then you have visual, using and activating the visual part of your cortex versus your auditive. So visual means basically anything that you can imagine, but it has to be safe. So if you imagine a word, your name, for example, and you imagine spelling it forwards, you're going to be most probably auditive. My name is Ulf. It's easy. ULF. So that's phonetic. Now, if I want to do something visual with that, I imagine the word, I see it in my mind, and I spell it backwards. FLU, flu, get a vaccine. Next step, working memory. So your working memory is something you want to keep occupied with a flow, and that's part of distraction. Remember, you have to keep tempo. And in flow and working memory, call and response is one of the easiest ways of doing that. So if I say, 22, you can say 22 after me. Say after me, 334. 334. And I can increase and decrease the amount of numbers, trying to calibrate and see where you are so that your working memory is kept online all the time. 2.2.2.4.2 doesn't have to make sense. Another way of doing clean distraction is impulse control. And there are many games that you can use for that. So one of these games is the I game, where you switch every vocal for I. So you can say, even deplete the E game. Now, it may seem silly, but it's also playful. And playfulness ties into social engagement, which is part of the polyvagal theory. I'll tell you more about that. And then you have physiology. Any shift in the physiology is going to be a shift in the emotional state of the person. So anything you can shift towards safety is a clean distraction. For example, if you just say, put your fingers up, put 2 fingers up, put 4 fingers up, we're engaging kinesthetically and we're using propriosity and our muscle system here to do things at the same time. And you can do it while talking about something else. And there are simpler ways, of course. Calibration is key because you don't want the person to feel like they don't know what you're doing or like they're not up to it. And then you have eye movements and changes. So when people do eye movements, when they access information or emotion or voices of memories, then you can use that also to distract them by asking them to follow your finger, for example, or to look in a certain direction, probably the opposite direction of where they were looking when they accessed something that was triggering them. So distraction, when it's clean, can be done in so many ways. And I'll be telling you a lot more about this in a workshop with clean distraction practice. Check it out in the link. And if you have any comments or ideas about this, just in general, any questions you want me to answer, just write them in the comments and I will. Stay safe, stay clean.